Previously, I introduced you to two target markets, which are very different. They want different things. They're in different places in their business. We'll hang out in different places and we'll have different ideas about how business is done or should be done. They may have similar core problems, but they will be in a very different stage of their business. And if you treat them the same or put out a more general message, you'll lose them as an audience. The goal is to create a personalized journey for each one of them so that they are seeing your message through their eyes and from their perspective, even if they're going to buy the same product or service. Now, it's no good doing all this work and not having a way to attract your ideal clients. And worse, if you attract them and your brand just doesn't fit the part. So let us focus on how to attract your ideal client. Now that you know who they are, how they think, and the language that moves them, you need a way to get them to connect and reach out to you. So we're changing it from a push to a pull. There are many ways to do this, and the best way that we have found is to write a book. Now, the interesting thing is that this doesn't have to be a novel or an autobiography or even a 100-page book. In fact, we have found that the secret is a 10 to 20-page book. This is the sweet spot. It's quick and easy to read, and it gets to the point very quickly. Because here's the reality, 80% of people that download your book will never read it, even if they have to pay for it. Which means that the book needs to be crafted in a way that will get them to take the action that you want and move them down the path that you want them to. So we structure it in a very specific way. If they read the headline, they want to know more. So they want to open up the front cover and read the rest of the book. If they read the chapter titles, they want to have a conversation with you because it's hitting all their pain points. And if they actually read the whole book, they buy. Now, I've experienced this in my business, and we found that anyone who reads the entire book buys, and it's generally on a high-ticket item. So think about if you meet an author, the kind of credibility it creates. It's a wow. And if the book actually provides value in a topic that you're interested in, there is a good chance that you'll hire the company to help you achieve the goal if the book is structured correctly. It's also a great way to connect to your ideal target market and collecting their leads by saying, hey, I'd like to send you a copy of my book. Where can I send that? So now you're giving a value exchange. My value is my book. Your value is your email address. Right, so here's how you can do that, how you structure this book. Number one, write down the number one thing that people come to you for. You will know what this is from past experience. Guess what? This is going to be your book title. Write down your promise. What will you help them achieve in what period of time? This is your subtitle. Write down the 10 problems, the 10 biggest problems your clients face, and prioritize those. These are your chapter titles. Write down how your product or service solves that problem. This is your content and your case studies. And then calculate how much money it will save them or increase their business by implementing your solution. This is how to get them to work with you. Pretty simple, right? I want to give you a case study of a client that came to us. Now, the interesting thing about this client was that he had a lot of different pieces. In fact, he'd published a couple of books already. One of them was about being a change maker, and the other one on how to solve your problems. Now, he'd also written a cookbook and owns a war museum. You can see that while all of this is great and they're amazing achievements, they don't really speak to his ideal target market, and it's really confusing. Like, what is he actually selling, or what is he actually doing? You see, he wants to target companies that have a manufacturing line. So can you see how there will be a disconnect? Even though there is the wow factor of having all of these credentials, if he went to speak to a company that he was trying to do business with, none of it makes any sense, and the company can't really piece together how he would help them, as none of his collateral actually speaks to his expertise in that area. In fact, it did quite the opposite. It made him look like he was all over the place and didn't know what he was doing. So the solution was to firstly remove all the collateral that didn't speak to his ideal target market from his image for when he was speaking to production lines. As much as his other achievements are quite noteworthy, if they do not resonate with his potential clients, he's not speaking their language. So they can't understand how his offering will be better for their business. Secondly, we showed him how to take the information out of his head and put it in a format that he could share with his ideal target audience in order to attract them to him and want to do business with him. Guess what? It was a 20-page power book that spoke directly to his ideal audience. So we created this book. Now, the title of the book, and see if this resonates, it's called Process Improvement. Increase your manufacturing line productivity by 21% in the next 30 days. Can you see how talking their language will make such a huge impact on how people want to do business with you? Doesn't this just resonate? The result of creating this and getting this book in front of the right people resulted in him receiving multiple business offers. One of them was for $250,000, which he received within 4 weeks of putting it out there. Talk about a return on investment. He continues to reap the benefits because it's simple and straightforward. You can literally judge the book by its cover. It does what it says on the box, so anyone reading it and who's in the industry and who is looking to do this will be interested to know how to get this result. Some of them will want you to help them implement it too. This is obviously where you make your money. Now, we can help you through this process because creating a lead book is not an easy feat. I mean, trust me, I know, I've written 3. But as described above, once you do it, you become seen as an industry leader for that topic. So if you can explain to people in a well-written book the value of your service and the value that it brings, it lends credibility to your offering. To those who read your book and find it valuable to your business, you're instantly an industry reference and a go-to person for advice on the topic. So what is your topic that you're going to become an industry leader in? Write it down, fill in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys are getting up to.